Hello guys, I welcome all of you to today's Farmcast. Today again we'll discuss 5 drugs of choice, one anti-cancer drug and one question that was asked by a student, and it was in relation to revision of pharmacology as to how many days are required, how many hours per day one should revise and so on, right? So I'll come to that at last. Let us begin with our drugs of choice straight away. So we are currently cruising in alphabet H, right? Alphabetically as we're moving. So for today it is the first disorder is herpes simplex virus. Now guys, remember HSV, herpes simplex virus, the drug of choice is valacyclovir more than acyclovir. So both can be used, but if both are in options, go for valacyclovir because it has a better oral absorption as compared to acyclovir, and valacyclovir is a prodrug of acyclovir. Second point they ask you, in case it is a case of valacyclovir or acyclovir resistant herpes, in that case what is my drug of choice? Think guys, think. In that case, my drug of choice is foscarnet, right? Coming to this second disorder for today, guys, it is treatment of H influenza. Now remember guys, H influenza treatment is not universal. It depends upon what is the kind of infection we are dealing with. Now if it is a case of H influenza meningitis, right? In that case, my drug of choice is the third generation cephalosporin, which is used against most gram negatives, and that happens to be ceftriaxone, right? Whereas if it is infection of the respiratory tract like pneumonia or otitis, in that case I go for ampicillin sulbactam combination. And the third aspect here is prophylaxis. Now if you want to use a drug for prophylaxis of H influenza, then the drug of choice is rifampicin. So this for treatment of H influenza, guys. Now moving on to treatment of HOCM or hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. Guys, for HOCM, the drug of choice are beta blockers like propranolol. So any of those beta blockers you can use. And in HOCM, my aim is to decrease the contraction of the heart, because whenever the heart contracts, what happens, because the septum is hypertrophied, the left ventricular wall will meet the septum, and that will cause left ventricular outflow tract obstruction. To decrease that obstruction, I have to decrease contraction of heart, and thus I use beta blockers. The next disorder for today, guys, it is Hodgkin's disease. And remember, Hodgkin's disease, we use a regimen called as ABVD. A for adriamycin, which is the other name for doxorubicin, B for bleomycin, V for vincristine, and D for dacarbazine, right? So ABVD is a regimen of choice for Hodgkin's disease. And guys, the last disorder for today is helminth hookworm. So guys, hookworm, all of you know, it is a nematode, right? And for most of the nematodes, the drug of choice is albendazole, except few. Some of them, albendazole is not the drug of choice, where we use either ivermectin or diethyl carbamazine. But for this particular hookworm, our drug of choice is albendazole. So guys, that's all in this section of drug of choice. Now let us move on to the section of anti-cancer drug. So that one anti-cancer drug that we'll discuss today is etoposide. So guys, etoposide is nothing but, the name itself contains TOP. So that stands for topoisomerase, right? So etoposide is a topoisomerase 2 inhibitor. Etoposide is a topoisomerase 2 inhibitor, and it has three important uses as an anti-cancer drug. One is testicular cancer, second one is small cell cancer of lung, and third one is the prostate cancer, right? So these are the uses of your drug etoposide, which is a topoisomerase 2 inhibitor. And since it inhibits topoisomerase 2, it would interfere with replication of DNA. So it is specific for S phase of DNA. Right guys, so that was all in this section of drugs we had to discuss today. Now moving on to the doubt that a student had asked, sir, how to revise pharmacology, like number of hours each day and how many days. Now guys, I'll tell you a little bit about this. It depends upon, in your book, pharmacology is what kind of a subject for you. Is it your weak subject? Is it your strong subject? And I had already discussed such things in my Farmcast as to how to revise strong and weak subject. Now let me take example of one student who is very strong in pharmacology. and then how he's going to revise. Then I'll discuss if one student is very weak, then how is he going to revise, right? But before that, coming to your point as to how many days should I give to pharmacology, guys, it is not about how many days you can give, it is about how many days you can afford. So make a timetable, like you have, for example, 90 days. Then from those 90 days, divide the subjects, the number of days, right, to all the 19 subjects depending upon the number of days a subject deserves. For example, if I give 20 days to medicine, I cannot give 20 days to pharma, right? My number of days for pharma should be half of what medicine and surgery. So medicine, surgery, I'll give 20 days. Gynae, I might give 15 days or 14 days. So pharma, I'll give 10 days, right? So radio, I'll give 5 days. So you make a timetable and see based upon that timetable how many days you can afford for a subject like pharmacology. Now, once you have figured it out that all right, I have these many days for these all subjects and I have 10 days, let us say, for pharmacology, then what am I going to do? Now, if you are a person who is strong in pharmacology, right, you can revise it just like any other subject. So I always advise you to combine 2 subjects, right? And preferably one weak and one strong subject. One should be clinical and one should be pre-paraclinical, that way, because it increases your productivity. So you can study pharmacology like any other subject. But if you are a student who is very weak in pharmacology, I would like you to spread pharmacology into many days. See, what does it mean? Suppose I am supposed to study pharmacology 10 hours a day, 10 days, which comes out to how many? 100 days. And if I combine it with another subject, so I'll be studying 5 hours, means then I'll study 20 days pharmacology, 5 hours each, and I'll study those 20 days any other subject, 5 hours each. So still now I am studying 5 hours each pharmacology for 20 days, and that comes out to be 100 hours. So what I'm gonna do here is I would spread it more. So I'll not study 5 hours of pharmacology, right? I'll not study 5 hours, rather I will study 2 hours. I'll revise only 2 hours pharmacology per day because it's very weak. No, I'm saying this for those students who are very, very weak in pharmacology, right? So it's a disaster for you guys. Then what you can do is you can rather spread it and not revise it 5 hours a day, rather revise it 2 to 3 hours a day only, right? Only 2 to 3 hours, and rest you can divide for any other 2 subjects. So what will happen is, you'll spread pharmacology into 40 to 50 days, right? 40 to 50 days, and you'll revise little chunk of pharmacology every day, 2 to 3 hours. And every other day, you need to revise whatever you have studied yesterday and day before yesterday, 5 to 10 minutes, just overlook. So by doing this, what will happen, you will see that gradually you'll be able to cover pharmacology, and at the end of the day, when you cover it and when you finish pharmacology, it would become rather your strongest subject, guys. So that is what I call as a subject segregation plan, where I break down the subject into multiple pieces and try to cover bit by bit, right? I don't go bolus on such subjects. So that's the way out, guys. That's my input into how you can use this subject segregation plan. So that's all for today, guys. If you have any such kind of questions or doubts, queries regarding your preparation you want me to cover in my Pharmcast, please let me know in the comment box and I'll include it definitely. So that's all, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. This is Dr. Rajan with you.